Hello everyone, and welcome to Special Ed 101. My name is Lily, and I am a parent advocate at LINKS CPRC. I'm excited to walk you through the basics of special education. Today we'll cover what special education is, what all the common acronyms mean, the step-by-step IEP process, parental rights, and some common accommodations and modifications. This training is designed for parents and caregivers who may be new to the special education process, so we'll start from the very beginning. What is special education? Special education is specially designed instruction to meet the unique needs of children with disabilities. It is not less education, rather it's education that is tailored so that each child can succeed academically, socially, and emotionally. Special education is provided under the federal law called the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA. IDEA covers a lot, but an important piece is that special education through public education is free for all, so any services provided will be free to families. Who qualifies for special education? Children who qualify for special education are generally between the ages of 3 and 21 and have a documented disability that affects their ability to learn. There are 13 disability categories under IDEA: autism, deafness, deafblindness, hearing impairment, intellectual disabilities, multiple disabilities, orthopedic impairment, other health impairment, serious emotional disturbance, specific learning disability, speech or language impairment, traumatic brain injury, visual impairment including blindness. Eligibility is determined through a formal process done by the school. The key question is, does the child need specially designed instruction to make progress in school? Common acronyms in special education. Special education has a lot of acronyms, so here are ones that you'll hear the most often. IEP, Individualized Education Program, a plan tailored to your child's needs. FAPE, Free Appropriate Public Education, which means the school must provide education at no cost that meets your child's unique needs. LRE, Least Restrictive Environment, which means your child should learn alongside peers without disabilities to the maximum extent appropriate. FBA, Functional Behavior Assessment, an assessment to understand why challenging behaviors happen. ESY, Extended School Year, special education services that may be provided during the summer. AT, Assistive Technology, any sort of technology in addition to the typical that assists the student in learning. That can be any form of speech to text to a communication device. There are many more, and often there are district-related terms. So if you hear terms you don't understand, always ask for clarification from the school staff. The special education process. Step 1, referral and evaluation. The process begins with a referral. So either a parent, teacher, or school staff member can request a special education evaluation. Once the referral is made, the team of professionals conducts a comprehensive evaluation of the child. As a parent, you can ask the school to evaluate your child. You can reach out to the principal or the special education teacher at your child's school. Explain your concerns and request an evaluation under IDEA to see if your child has a disability. However, the school does not have to evaluate your child just because you ask. If the school refuses to do an evaluation, then they must let you know in writing along with a decision why. This is called prior written notice. If you disagree with their choice, then you can reach out to the parent center in your area to help you with further steps. LINKS CPRC is the parent center in the Matsu area. If you can find our contact information at the end of this training. If the school chooses to initiate an evaluation, they must ask the parent and receive written consent before they may evaluate your child. Once the consent is given, the evaluation must happen within 60 days. If the parent does not give consent, the school cannot proceed with the evaluation, even if they may want to. The school will test in all areas where a child might be affected by a disability. Evaluations may include academic testing, observations, speech and language assessments, vision, hearing, health, general intelligence, social emotional assessments, performance in school, how well the child communicates using their body. The purpose is to determine if the child has a disability and what supports may be needed. Step 2 is an eligibility meeting. Once the evaluation is complete, the team holds an eligibility meeting. Parents are key participants in this meeting. Other team members include a special education teacher, the classroom teacher, an administrator. If appropriate, your child may also be included in the team. Others might be added to the team if it is determined that your child needs them, such as a speech pathologist, a school psychologist, or an occupational therapist. The team reviews the results and decides if the child qualifies for special education. There are multiple steps to this meeting, including reviewing existing information, which means the team reviews your child's test scores and compares them with other students in your child's grade. Opinions and observations are given from your child's teacher and from other school staff. The parent shares their feelings, opinions, and observations about the child and how they're doing in school. Deciding if more information is needed, so the group may decide if your child has a disability, how your child is doing in school, if your child needs special education services, or what your child's educational needs are. If the school does not have all the answers, then more information will be collected about your child. Collecting more information if needed. If more information is needed, the school must get your written permission as the parent before they can proceed. The school is also required to explain how they plan to collect this information, including specific tests or other methods they will use. Once you provide your consent, the school can proceed as expected. The information collected will help the evaluation team make decisions described earlier. If the child qualifies, the next step is to develop an individualized education plan, or IEP. If the child does not qualify, the school must tell the parent in writing, giving a reason why. They must also give the parent information on what to do if they disagree with that decision. If your child qualifies for special education, you have the right to decline these services if you choose. The parent of the student can decline or cancel special education for the child at any time, but note that if the parent changes their mind later, the evaluation process must be repeated from the beginning. Step 3, developing the IEP. Developing the IEP is a collaborative process between parents, teachers, specialists, and administrators. As the parent, you have to agree to the IEP in order for it to be implemented. The parent is a full equal partner in the team. The IEP will include present levels of academic achievement and performance, measurable annual goals for academics and behavior. This also includes the measuring process, or how the goals will be measured throughout the year. Special education services your child will receive, participation with students without disabilities. The IEP will include an explanation of how much of a student's day is spent with non-disabled peers and how much will be in a separate education setting. Related services like speech, occupational therapy, or counseling, accommodations and modifications to help your child learn effectively, participation in statewide or district-wide assessments. Most students, even with an IEP, will participate in these assessments, but many special education students have accommodations to take these tests, such as taking the test in a separate setting, having a small group, or text-to-speech. Dates and locations. The IEP states when special education services begin, how often they are provided, where they are provided, and how long they will last. Step 4, implementation and progress monitoring. Once the IEP is finalized, the school implements it in the classroom. Progress is monitored regularly and shared with parents. This ensures that your child is making progress towards their goals. Parents have the right to review progress reports and ask for adjustments if the child is not making adequate progress. Basics of parental rights. As a parent, you have specific rights under IDEA. These include the right to participate in all meetings, the right to request an evaluation or disagree with school decisions, the right to receive prior written notice of changes in your child's placement or services, the right to dispute decisions through mediation or a due process hearing. Parents are partners in every step of the process, and their voice matters. Accommodations and modifications. Accommodations and modifications help your child succeed in the classroom. Accommodations change how your child learns, like extra time on tests or preferential seating, providing visual aids, graphic organizers, or step-by-step instructions. Modifications change what your child learns, like shortened assignments, simplified reading passages, reduced number of math problems, or allowing the student to use assistive technology instead of handwriting. These supports are included in the IEP to meet your child's unique needs. There are many, many more accommodations and modifications that can be utilized. It all depends on the need of the individual student. Accommodations in testing. Accommodations may also apply during testing. Examples include extended time, oral testing, or small group testing. In some cases, alternate assignments may be appropriate if standard testing does not measure the child's true abilities. The goal is to fairly measure your child's skill without unfairly advantaging or disadvantaging them. Review process. Your child's IEP is reviewed at least once a year to track progress and set new goals. You don't have to wait for the annual review. You and any team member can request a review or revision at any time. Sometimes you and the school can agree to update the IEP without holding a formal meeting. Changes are documented in writing and all IEP team members are informed. You can request a copy of the revised IEP. During the formal review or revision meeting, the team discusses progress on current goals, new goals to add, changes needed to special education or related services. This process ensures your child's education program stays updated and appropriate year to year. Reevaluation. Your child must be reevaluated at least every 3 years, unless you or the school decide it is not needed. The goal is to determine whether your child still qualifies as a child with disability, what educational supports are needed. Reevaluation starts with existing information. Additional assessments require your informed written consent. Reevaluations can happen more often if requested, but cannot occur more than once a year unless agreed upon. To summarize, special education provides tailored instruction to help students succeed. The IEP is a roadmap for learning and development. Parents have rights and are key partners in the process. Accommodations and modifications help your child access education effectively. The IEP is reviewed every year at minimum. The student is reevaluated every 3 years at minimum. By staying informed and involved, you can support your child's success. Thank you for listening to Special Education 101. I hope this overview has helped you understand special education, IEPs, and your rights as a parent. Please don't hesitate to ask questions or reach out to your local parent center for support. In the Mat Sue, that is LINKS CPRC. Remember, you are your child's strongest advocate.